Hello, everyone. Before we formally start our event, a few reminders for all of us. One, put your microphones on mute and your camera off to avoid program interruption. Strictly no commenting or chatting foul and demeaning words during the session. Dress appropriately if camera is needed to be on. If you have questions regarding the event or topic, you may use the chat feature of the webinar. Lastly, participate in the program. And for our data privacy notice, we will be recording this event and will be taking pictures and screenshots for one, documentation. Second is sharing images of the event to different platforms not limited to social media posts. Lastly, live video feed via Microsoft Teams and other social media platforms.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Technopreneurship webinar held by JPCS APC. I am one of your hosts, Neil De La Cruz, the current president of JPCS APC, and with me today is.
I am Jan Michael Gonzalez, the Officer in Charge VP External of JPCS APC. And we welcome you to our today's webinar called Introduction to Technopreneurship. So, Kuya Neil or Sir Neil, ayan. Um, ano nga ba yung technopreneurship? Kasi parang tech and entrepreneurship. What's the connection between that?
So, you're right, JM, no? Technopreneurship is a word that is coined by combining technology and entrepreneurship. And with those two combined, it's basically a topic where we try as a developer or community, we try to implement technology into our businesses for a more sustainable and efficient approach. But I'm not an expert in this field, and I don't want to give misinformation to everyone here attending our webinar. And that's why we, as the organizers for this event, have invited a very professional and experienced person to discuss all about technopreneurship to you guys. So without further ado, may we invite our honorable guest speaker, Mr. Ernesto Boogie Boydon. He is an author of the Davidic Growth Paradigm, a awardee for the Esther Vibal or an Esther A. Vibal Awardee for Education, Technology, and Innovation. And he is currently the CEO and founder of Cyber Optimus Philippines. And last but not the least and most importantly, he is a technopreneur. Everyone, please give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon. Is my sound okay? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir, you are audible po.
Okay, thank you very much, Neil. Hindi nabanggit ni Neil, merong kulang dun sa introduction, eh. Dapat binanggit niya na teacher niya ako sa Technopreneurship.
Yes po. He is my beloved professor for Technopreneurship as well.
Well, for those who don't know me, I've been with APC since 2011, but I retired in 2020. But I was asked to get out of my retirement to handle the Technopreneurship class. So, ah, ang uma-attend ba dito, Neil, ay mga estudyante natin sa Technopreneurship? Hindi, ano, iba, ano, these are, well, some, I think. Some. Okay. Anyway, so if I can share my screen. Ah, although medyo di ako gano'n ka ano sa MS Teams, so I need to figure out some of these things. Okay, 'yan. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes po, sir. We could see your screen po.
Okay. Right now, what are you seeing? It's still the full screen?
Yes, sir. It's the PowerPoint presentation po.
Okay, hindi. I shifted on my screen kasi I shifted to presenter mode so that I can see the next slide. Ah, but I just want to make sure na hindi nakikita yung ano, baka ma-booking yung mga next slides ko, eh, 'no. Ma-preempt yung mga jokes. Okay, so, well, this is about an introduction to technopreneurship. But I chose to entitle it with the power to innovate because I think that's a more powerful idea, no? Kasi pag sinabi mo lang na introduction to technopreneurship, medyo boring, ano? Parang sabihin nila, ano ba yung technopreneurship? Even when you explain that it's a combination of technology and entrepreneurship. So what, right? 'Di ba? Anong ano nun? Anong value nun, no? But I think it goes beyond that, no? Technopreneurship is a nice thing to do if you're a businessman, if you're an entrepreneur, you want to create a startup. But it goes beyond just creating a business. It goes beyond just creating a startup or solving a problem. No, I think at the core of being a technopreneur is the power to innovate. No, it should be what should excite you. Okay? So, kung balak niyo man maging technopreneur, don't be excited about the business. Don't be excited about the money. Be excited about the power to innovate. Okay? Ah, actually yung I don't know kung nakuwento ko 'to sa klase ko, no. When I started in computers, it was so boring, no, at the time kasi mainframe yung gamit namin, eh, nung panahon na yun. Wala pang mga personal computers. We couldn't even see the computer itself, no? We weren't even able to touch the computer because it was a mainframe computer somewhere out there in UP. And when we had to create programs, we had to write everything in a coding sheet, tapos dadalhin namin doon sa computer center kasama ng mga punch cards, you know. And because the job controller would have to gather all projects and run it at the same time, okay, to maximize the cost of the machine, sometimes it would take us 2 days before we can even know the result of our program. So I know you cannot relate to that, ano, kasi ngayon kayo instantaneous, eh, right, no? But that is how computing was during my time in college, no? And so when I graduated, I enrolled in a software programming course. Tapos ang gamit yung ano, yung Apple na computer. The very first Apple, yung unang-unang Apple. And when I started typing on the machine, and then kung ano yung gusto kong ipagawa, gagawin kaagad nung machine. Like for example, if there are a lot of things on the screen, ang command to clear the screen is CLS. Okay? Wala pang graphics na, by the way, all text lang ito, ha. Pero yun lang, you type CLS and then everything disappears on the screen. That was how I fell in love with computers. Okay? Kasi yung it was that power, eh, no? A power over the machine. And I think the reason why I'm telling you this story is because that feeling of having that power to control the machine and make it do what you want is somehow related to the idea of having the power to innovate. You see a situation, you see a problem, and then your creative mind starts thinking that power to be able to control that situation and give a solution to the problem so that those who are experiencing it can be relieved of their pain. That's a power. That's a very powerful feeling. And that's what I want to share with you today. Technopreneurship should be something that excites you because it gives you that ability to have a say on how things are being done. Right? Diba? Meron kang makikita na, oh, maraming tao na naghihirap sa isang bagay. And then you'll be able to come up with a solution. And then it's powered by technology, so it becomes more efficient, more cost effective, and people benefit from it. Then that's an entirely new kind of power, di ba? Parang ano yan, kung ano yung feeling ni Darna siguro, no? Kung napapanood niyo si Darna sa, ano, sino nga ba yung artista doon? Anyway. So, yun, di ba? Yun yung power na yun. So, this is our agenda for today. I want to talk about innovation and technopreneurship because I believe that when we talk about technopreneurship, it has to include the idea of innovation. And then I'm going to show you some startup ideas. And it all has to do with the creative power to look at the problem but see it in a different light. And then we will look at going from just not just innovation but to winning innovations. And then finally, we will try to understand what is that power to innovate all about. So let's look at innovation and technopreneurship. Technopreneurship uh, is said to be the use of technology as an integral and key element in the transformation of goods and services. In other words, and especially with the accelerating uh, development in technology that we're seeing nowadays, okay? Hindi na to teritoryo lang ng mga information technology students. Hindi na to teritoryo lang ng mga computer science students, right? Okay? In fact, when we talk of technology, IT and CS are merely specializations now. Because IT is now in the realm of everybody. Everybody who is doing anything in this world, sooner or later, inevitably, has to brush with technology at some point in their lives. Okay? Imposible ngayon na mabuhay ka na hindi ka gumagamit ng technology. Okay? From the moment you wake up to the moment you sleep, no? Cellphone na lang eh, 'di ba? Ilan bang halos lahat may hawak na cellphone eh, 'di ba? Kung makita mo kahit saan ka pumunta, may hawak na cellphone, 'di ba? 'Pag naiwan nga natin yung cellphone natin, feeling natin parang hindi kumpleto yung buhay natin, 'di ba, no? Uuwi pa tayo, babalikan natin, 'di ba? Kasi parang hindi puwedeng wala tayong dalang cellphone, right? So, we become so, so attached to the technology. Yung iba nga dalawa-dalawa pa yung cellphone, 'no? Mini-message yung sarili 'pag walang maka-text, 'di ba? Parang parang gano'n lang. But, yun nga, meron akong nabasa, 'no? Alam niyo ba, 'no, yung tayo tayo as Filipinos, we're very good at technology actually, 'no? Mabilis tayong maka-adapt, 'no? Hindi nga tayo nagbabasa ng manual, eh, right, 'di ba? 'Pag may dumating na gadget, gagamitin natin kaagad 'yan, okey? Tapos minsan tatanong tayo, "Paano nga ba 'to ginagawa?" Di-discover natin 'yun, 'di ba? Di-discover natin 'yun. Nandun naman sa manual actually, puwede mo namang basahin, pero hindi natin binabasa yung manual, 'no? And so, when the SMS was discovered, 'no, kasi yung alam niyo yung history ng SMS, yung SMS hindi yan talaga feature ng telepono, okey? It was actually a feature there that was meant for technicians. Because when they were out there on the field, they had to have a way of sending short messages. Kaya nga SMS eh, short messaging system yan eh. Among each other. Na-discover. Actually, no, when I was with Ayala Corporation, boss ko sa Ayala yung nag-capitalize niya, no? And it was a brilliant, no? It was a brilliant move on the part of Globe. Okay? So they made texting a part of the services that can be offered that you can do on the phone. And they charge for it. Ha? So imagine mong business model na libreng feature lang ng phone na hindi naman talaga commercial, okay? Pinagkakitaan, di ba? Now, so wala pang mga smartphones no, wala pang mga graphics, no? Text lang, di ba? Ewan ko kung inabot niyo yun, baka hindi pa kayo pinapanganak nun. Yung alam mo yung keyboard yun nandun sa telepono mo, tapos pipindutin mo yung letter, kunyari, ano ba yung, ano bang ABC ba yun? Kalimutan ko na, hindi ko na alam yung ano yun, no? Pero kunyari, yung C type mo, so yung 1, piperes mo ng 3 beses para makarating ko dun sa C, no? Pero ang gagaling mag-ano ng mga tao, no? At one point, we were even dubbed as the texting capital of the world. Do you imagine that? Hulaan nyo, nung time na yun I guess this would be around mga early 2000 ito, no? Hindi pa uso, wala pang iPhone, di ba? So, tapos, text lang talaga yung mga telepono. But, okay, we were known globally as the texting capital of the world. Hulaan nyo, ilang text messages ang pinapadala sa Pilipinas per day noong panahon na yun. Type your answers on the chat box. Sige, tingnan ko lang nga. Hula lang. Chat. Walang gusto humula. 108 108 na messages per day? 5 million? Oy, sikal, 5 million. Sige pa. Millions. Ilang millions? Alisa, hundreds po. Naku, ang hina nyo naman. Texting capital nga eh. Imagine, 10 billion, ay sobra naman yun. Okay. Sige, sirit na. 3 million. Alam mo, karamihan ng mga hula nyo, ang bababa. No? Parang minamaliit nyo naman yung mga Pilipino. Ganun lang ba tayo? Imagine mo, mga 2,000, ilan na ba population ng Pilipinas noon, ano? Oh. Hindi naman trillion, Georgette, sobra ka naman. Okay. Anyway, eto the number of text messages that were being sent, no, was around 400 million messages per day. Imagine mo nga, 400 million, Tapos sabi nila, mga 20% daw nun is K. Uso yun dati, napasasok ka, K. Pero 20 million, sorry, 400 million, 20%, ilan yun? 80 mil, 8, tama ba? Ano 20% ng 400 million? 80 million? Di ba? So kung pesos ang text, 80 million pesos, yun lang pinapadala, K. So, but that is how addicted we were to texting, no? In fact, may mga nabasa nga akong balita sa Jaryo eh. Sabi, yung isang nabasa ko, sabi, kumakain, nagte-text, nabilaukan, namatay. Biro mo yun? Tapos yung sumunod, sabi, naglalakad, nagte-text, nahulog sa manhole, namatay. Yung pangatlo, sabi, tumatawid, nagte-text, nasagasaan, namatay. O yung pang-apat, yung nakakalungkot. Sabi doon sa balita, nagte-text, walang maka-text, nagpakamatay. Hindi, joke lang yan. Paghapon ganito, nakakaantok eh, no? So, ginigising ko lang kayo. But that is how for Filipinos, technology seems natural. And that's why I believe that if we dream big about it, we can launch what I call a Filipino technopreneur revolution. In other words, we use our creativity doesn't cost much, right? We find the right technologies, solve a problem, and then get our solutions out into the world. Okay? Now, technopreneurship is related to digital transformation because the goal of digital transformation is to create new and sustainable competitive advantages. In other words, if you're a business, you want to be ahead of your competitors, right? Ang definition kasi ng competitive advantage is better than what your competitors can do. So it gives you an edge over your competitors. But at the same time, it has to be sustainable. Ibig sabihin, you can maintain your advantage over time without being burdened by the cost of doing it. Okay? In other words, kaya mong gastusan yung advantage because it brings you revenues that are far more than what you spend for it. Okay? And then, sustainable is that you can protect it so that your competitors cannot easily overcome your advantage. So, from the point of view of digital transformation, technopreneurship can help businesses solve their problems so that they become more competitive. Ang problema kasi minsan, may mga ibang negosyo, kunyari, yung ginagawa nila, no, hindi naman nagpo-produce ng result, di ba? Pero yun pa rin at yun pa rin ang ginagawa nila. They still do the same things over and over again. Eh sabi nga ni Albert Einstein, that's insanity. Di ba? Sa Tagalog, kabaliwan. You know, you do the same thing, nakikita mo nang hindi nagpo-produce ng result, but you still keep on doing it. No. You need to innovate. And technopreneurship is a good avenue for innovation. Ang tatlong A's kasi ng digital transformation are this. You need to be adroit. Ano ba yung adroit? Dapat clever ka. Dapat resourceful ka. When you see a situation, you are able to see things, no? That other people might not be seeing. Okay? Dati naalala ko, nagme-meeting kami ganun, sabi niya, baka meron kang nakikita na hindi nakikita ng iba. Nandun ako sa likod, sabi ko, kakatakot naman yun. Sabi mo, may nakikita ka, hindi nakikita ng iba. Pero ang ibig sabihin dito is yung may nakikita ka, no, na solusyon do sa problema and you are the first to be able to address it. Pero kailangan mabilis ka din. You need to be agile. O, nakaisip ka nga pero wala ka namang ginawa, right? And then you need to be adaptable. Kung nakita mo na hindi nagwo-work yung ginagawa mo, kung hindi kaagad tama yung una mong naisip, then you need to be able to shift, to pivot, okay? Until you find the correct solution. So that's how innovation is related to technopreneurship, okay? You need to see it in the context of digital transformation and you have to have those three A's: adroit, agile, and adaptable. Now, so innovation is what fuels a lot of startup ideas. Kasi sabi ni Michael Vance, innovation is the creation of the new or the rearranging of the old in a new way. In other words, you see a situation and people have been doing the same thing over and over again. Where's the advantage in that, right? So to create advantage, you now try to introduce something that others are not yet doing, okay? And at the same time, it should also be something that allows you to see the problem not in the context of a problem, but in the context of an opportunity. Okay? So imbis na tingnan mo yung problema na problema, mag-iisip ka, parang may opportunity dito ah. Diba? Kung marami na mga problema dito at masosolve ko to, aba, kikita ko dito, right? That's entrepreneurship coming into play. Okay? Or simply, it's adapting to the environment, adapting to a situation. Kagaya nito.
Let me set it up for you. Let's say you are the CEO.
Wait. Is my sound, nadidinig ba yung sound nung video?
Yes, sir. Dinig po.
Yeah.
Okay, very
Yeah,
good.
rinig po.
Of a theater company in Spain, and you focus on comedy theater. Every night you run comedy shows at your theaters. One morning you wake up and you realize that the government has increased the tax rate from 8% to 21%. Translation, tonight nobody's going to show up. What do? How do you respond to this external shock? Think about it for 5 seconds and then I'll show you exactly what these guys did. All right, have a look.
Pay per laugh, the first comedy shows where you only pay for what you consume. We fitted each seat with a facial recognition system that detects the smile and proposed the following deal to spectators. Entrance will be totally free. If the show produces no laughs, you don't pay anything. However, if you laugh, you have to pay for each smile. Each smile produced is worth 30 euro cents, something that in this day and age is quite a reasonable price. At the end of the show, the spectator could check their laughter account before paying and even share it on social networks. And so that no one would cry for having laughed more than they could afford, the maximum amount to pay was 80 laughs for 24 euros. The average price of the ticket increased by 6 euros. The system was covered by the main national media outlets, and this produced 35% more spectators. Each pay-per-laugh show produced 28,000 euros more ticket money than was normally taken. Currently, the system is being copied in other theatres in Spain. A mobile phone app was created as a system of payment, and the first season ticket was launched for the number of laughs not shown.
Okay. So, very innovative, right? And they responded to the problem. O, sabi dun sa problema, nagtaas ng tax. So, sabi nila, naku, wala, ano. Okay? So, anong ginawa nila? Libre. Libre yung, actually, dati na yun dito sa Pilipinas, sa sine nga, sinasabi nila, libre papasok, ang may bayad yung palabas, di ba? Pero dito, talagang literally, ang may bayad yung palabas, di ba? And, come to think of it, pwede itong gawin sa iba, right? Kunyari sa sinihan, di ba? Kahit hindi comedy, kunyari drama, paper cry, di ba? O kaya kunyari romance, paper kilig. Pero kaya paano kaya mo i-capture yung kilig moment, Mahirap yata yun, But the idea is that they were innovative enough to translate a problem into an opportunity. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. And then they harness technology to be able to translate that opportunity into a real solution. That's technopreneurship. Now, sometimes it's just about being creative about approaching something that has been done for ages, right? Example, 'di ba sa mga subway station o sa MRT, kung may mga nag-MRT sa inyo, 'di ba marami diyan yung mga advertisement, 'di ba? Yung mga billboard na minsan may video, 'di ba? Okay? Pero minsan static lang 'yon, right? Okay? Now, take a look at this next example. Ang galing, 'di ba? Ang ganda pa ng tagline, "Makes your hair come alive." Right? Okay. Pero simple lang yung naisip nilang solution, right? Siguro medyo mahirap lang yung timing. Actually, if you search the internet, meron diyang parang yung mga behind the scenes, paano ginawa yung engineering and everything, no? Ang naging isang problema nila yung timing, yung timing, how to time, so that when the sensors detect the incoming train, kailan magpe-play yung video na parang hinahangin yung buhok ng babae. So, but it was a very good innovation, no? Pangit nga lang ng pangalan ng produkto, no? Apotec. Okay. Here's another one that I want to show you. Watch this.
Yeah, I'm in the Nike store. There he is. He's getting the message. There's a promotion for BPAC. I think so. Yeah, we got him. Big bubble gum!
Meatpack is the trendiest shoe store in Guatemala, a brand known for its edgy, cutting style and a store known for its unique discounts in limited edition kicks including brands like Adidas, Nike and Reebok. An icon for the sneakerhead subculture with over 60,000 fans on their fan page in less than a year. They needed to launch a new promotion that lived up to their hardcore fans, an innovative way to earn your discount. We created Hijack, an enhancement for the official Meatpack app used by our customers. Using GPS tracking technology that marks every competitor's store of the brand sold at Meatpack, so every time one of our sneakerheads enters one of the stores, it triggers a special notice with a promotion. Hijack sends an alert to the person's mobile with a discount that starts at 99% and decreases by 1% every second that goes by, making the countdown stop until you reach our store. More than 600 customers were hijacked from the competitors in a week. One customer, Pedro Rodriguez, got a record-breaking 89% discount. This is the first promo campaign that started the sale in the competitors' stores.
Okay. Again, the solution itself or the technology itself is not that complicated, not that difficult. What is amazing is the creativity that went into it, right? Okay, and that I think is what is important when you are doing technopreneurship. It's that level of creativity that you put into the solution. Okay. So in other words, when you want to go into technopreneurship, you should not just be looking for innovations for innovation's sake. What you're looking for are what we call winning innovations. And it was mentioned earlier that I am the author and creator of the Davidic Growth Paradigm. It's a digital transformation framework. And one of the things that is part of the paradigm is this one. It's about winning innovations. No, so if you read it, no, it's that appreciation that in this ancient time, okay, companies have to continuously learn how to reinvent themselves. So in other words, they take stock of where they are and they continuously have to accept that they need to keep on moving. They need to keep on changing, adapting, right? Because if not, they will be left behind because there are others, new startups, new businesses coming into the picture. And at any time, they can easily be disrupted. Okay. So because of that fast pace of change sweeping the business landscape, companies cannot just, just stand by, parang panoorin mo lang yung mga nangyayari, Dapat you should be the one who is taking steps to be adroit, agile, and adaptable. And the way to do it is to look for not just innovations, but winning innovations that you can introduce to your company. Now, when I coach companies in digital transformation, I tell them, there are some transformations or innovations that you can do in your organization that can create the most impact. Okay, and this is by virtue of what has been proven in other businesses out there. Okay, of course, it's not limited to this, but these are the ones that somehow are the most impactful, no? Ito yung pwede makapagbigay sa kanila ng malaking benefits, no, if they can do this. And what are these? I created an acronym to make it easier to remember, and I call it THRIVE, okay? Number one is transcend quality targets. Okay, so in other words, if your goal is to provide a quality product to your market, then don't just be complacent or content with, with whatever it is that you have. Okay? Minsan yun yung isang problema ng mga ibang Pilipino, no? When they are creating a product, no? Minsan they stop at some point na ang sasabihin nila is pwede na, 'di ba? Pwede na 'yan, 'di ba? Kahit alam nilang may kulang pa o medyo may ano pa, basta uma-under naman, 'di ba? Oo. pwede na. Okay? But here, the right attitude should always be, pwede pa. In other words, you still keep on looking, can I still improve this? Can I still make it better? So you transcend your quality targets. The other is, merong naman mga negosyo na ang mas may impact sa kanila is about their brand, no? For example, especially yung mga malalaking brand names, no? Hindi naman sila nakarating diyan na basta-basta lang, no? Kunyari Levi's or Nike, Adidas, okay. So it took them long years of building that brand image. And so other companies who are trying to play catch up might want to look at this initiative, no? How can we hone our brand image? How can we, reach the same heights as those big brands out there? Okay? And the answer is, you need to focus on your market relevance. Okay? Because brand is just one thing, being known, but to be remembered is another thing. Okay? Kasi pwedeng nakilala ka, sumikat ka, tas nawala ka rin kaagad. Bakit? Kasi wala kang staying power. And the staying power comes from market relevance. If you keep on addressing the needs of your market, then you are always relevant to your market, then you can thrive in this area. The third, simple lang. May iba nila, hindi. Kahit di kami kilalang brand, kahit di kami, importante is that we are able to produce affordable products. Okay? So, kung affordable products naman ang habol mo, then you keep on looking ways to reduce your cost and increase your productivity so that you're able to churn out products that can command a good revenue, but your cost is low. Sometimes it's about, having the right culture in the company. Rallying your people, rallying your employees, making them excited, no? So that they themselves, sila mismo, nag-iisip, paano ba ako makakontribute dito sa company? Paano ko ba magagawa na mas mahusay itong trabaho ko, right? Hindi yung mga empleyado pumapasok lang na para lang sa sweldo, no? Tapos maghapon nakaabang sa relo, 'di ba? Para pagdating ng tamang oras na alis na kagad, no? So, no, sometimes some companies would need to invigorate the company culture. Make them excited, make them motivated, make them inspired. Another way to innovate is to validate your business model. Okay? Is my business model generating optimal revenues? If not, can I tweak it so that I can somehow uh, somehow gain more revenue, okay, from it? So, titingnan mo kung paano mo ino-offer yung produkto, how you're charging, what is your business model, and you validate it with your market. And the last one is about how you are able to relate to your customers, no? Sabi dito, exceed customer expectations. Okay? Nowadays, because of stiff competition, because of very competitive markets, companies are trying to outdo each other, no? Dati, ang sinasabi lang, customer satisfaction. But sometime about maybe 20 or years ago, things started to shift. It was not anymore about customer satisfaction. Okay? Hulaan nyo kung anong word ang ginagamit. Sige nga, can you type on the chat box? Click tayo sa chat. Baka natutulog na kayo eh. Instead of just satisfaction, okay, what do you think is the word that companies now are trying to achieve? Give me a word. Isip kayo ng word and type it in the chat box. What do you think? If you're trying to build a company, a product, what do you think? No, palitan niyo yung palitan niyo yung word na satisfaction. Instead of customer satisfaction, what do you want to achieve? Customer loyalty, well, that would be an effect. Okay? Pero ano yung sustainability? Again, that's also an effect, no? Pero ano yung naibibigay mong kasi yung satisfaction, feeling right? 'Di ba? It's a feeling. Like kunyari, ako may hinahanap akong produkto, 'di ba? O may hinahanap akong pagkain, 'di ba? Okay? Tapos pag natikman ko 'yon, 'di ba? I feel satisfaction, 'di ba? So naibigay nung company yung hinahanap ko and I am satisfied. Okay? Think of it in terms of a feeling na nabibigay mo. Kasi yung satisfaction, feeling yun eh. Security or comfort, naku, walang nakakahula. Uy, ang galing ni Justin Clark Ong. Customer delight. Ayun, delight ang word ngayon, di ba? Ah, so ibig sabihin hindi lang kasi yung satisfied parang okay na, di ba? Na-satisfy ako. Pero yung delight, it goes beyond my expectation. Nagulat ako, right? Yan yung delight eh, di ba? No? Napadelight ang aking mata, di ba? So parang parang gano'n. Example, merong ano ba yung example dito? Yung sa sa American Express. Okay, there's this story. 'Di ba yung American Express, parang credit card yun, that people use so that they don't have to carry cash. Okay. And then merong isang, yung nag-ski. He went up to the mountain lodge. Tapos bigla nagkaroon ng snowstorm. And then when he was supposed to pay, na-realize niya, nawawala yung American Express card niya. So he called the company and yun nga, sinabi niya na nawawala yung card niya. Okay. Now, yung American Express, ano yan eh, meron yung mga VIP na customers, right? Ibig sabihin, yung talagang malakas gumamit ng mga and malaki kinikita naman din nung card, no? So, of course, siyempre, yung customer siguro, in-expect niya, with this snowstorm, to take them a while to get a replacement of my card. Pero itong isang, very aggressive na salesperson dun sa company, what he did was, he chartered a helicopter to get to the lodge, okay? Even amidst the raging snowstorm para lang maibigay niya yung card on time, okay? So siyempre, the customer was so delighted, right? No? Because the company went out of their way to satisfy his need, okay? So hindi lang naging satisfaction na naramdaman niya, it was delight, right? Okay. And a lot of the companies right now are trying to do that, no? I remember, dati umorder ako ng libro sa Amazon eh. Dahil nagtitipid ako, ang pinili ko yung mahabang time, parang by ship yata yun eh, no? So parang I expected it to arrive in about if I'm not mistaken, mga 28 days. Sabihin mo na gano'n, no? Sabihin natin 28 days, okay. Umabot na dun sa time na yun. Lumagpas pa. Wala pa yung libro. 'Di nag-email ako. Sinabi ko, no, na I was expecting it, no, on the 20th day, pero hindi dumating. So alam mo ang galing ng Amazon, eh. Ang bilis, sumagot kaagad sila. Nag-apologize. And then they said, "We will send you a replacement by overnight." Parang express delivery. Ba, sabi ko, okey ito, tapos tinanong ko, sabi ko, ah, paano kung kunyari after na dumating yung replacement, dumating pa rin yung nauna kong in-order? Sabi nila, "Oh, you can keep that." Wow, 'di ba? So gano'n nga nangyari actually, 'no? Dumating kaagad yung replacement nila, tapos after a few days, dumating din yung nauna. Pero talagang late na naman na 'yun, 'di ba? Kaya lang ginawa ko, binenta ko yung isa. So parang nakuha ko ng libre yung libro, 'di ba? Siyempre delighted na delighted ako nun, 'di ba? Kasi nalibre yung libro ko. But that's what we mean by exceeding customer expectations, no? It's not just about satisfying, but giving your customer delight. And so, puwedeng isa dito yung pipiliin nung kumpanya, right? On what they will innovate. And that, if you're looking for a solution to address their needs, right? It could be on any of this. Okay? Some examples. Kunyari, just coming up with better, more responsive, more relevant products. Or maybe just enhancing the existing process, right? Okay? For example, meron akong isang client, no? When we were doing parang nakwento ko yata to doon sa Technopreneurship class. I can't remember. So yung ina-analyze namin yung problema eh. Sabi nila, "Sir, ang problema ano eh, hindi namin nade-deliver on time yung service na pinangako namin sa customer." Okay. So sabi ko, "Ano yung pain points?" Sir, ang daming nagrereklamo na ngayon ng mga kliyente 'no, kasi yung iba nade-delay." Sabi ko, "Bakit? Ano ba expectations nila?" Eh, sir, siyempre expectations nila 'pag sinabi naming 1 week o 2 weeks, dapat ma-deliver namin, eh, minsan lumalagpas. Sabi ko, Ano yung what is causing the pain?" "Sir, nabawasan kasi kami kulang kami ng tao 'no. Kasi dati nung konti lang yung demand, kaya namin i-meet yung expectations, pero nung dumami yung demand, minsan hindi na namin kayang gawin lahat, right? So lumalagpas yung iba. Oh, what do you want to see?" Sana kung puwede kaming magdagdag ng tao, kaya lang sabi ng management hindi daw cost effective, kasi yung revenues na mage-generate would not be enough to sustain the hiring of new employees. Okay, and then I told them, 'di ba digital transformation ang pinag-uusapan natin? So, baka merong technology na puwede tayong i-harness that can help you do what you're doing a lot faster and better na hindi tayo magha-hire ng bagong empleyado 'no? And so they started to light up and say, "Oo nga 'no, pero" eventually what we were able to apply was robotic process automation, okay? And it was not as expensive as hiring, new employees 'no, so we just looked at where their bottlenecks were and then implemented a robotic process automation, intervention 'no. So, yun. So yun yung mga puwede ano, or sometimes it might be just working with new partners or upgrading to more modern technology. Or yun nga, kagaya kanina, revisiting and revising your business model. So, this is how you approach the idea of innovation. No? You look at the areas where it will provide the most impact, and then you come up with the solutions. It's also related to adaptation. Okay? When a company is facing stiff competition, they need to recognize ano ba yung changes in market environment, and then they start developing new ideas. And then they need to test them in the marketplace. No? Kasi minsan kailangan mo mag-adapt eh. No? So, maybe 10 years ago, 20 years ago, ganito ang behavior ng mga tao, right? Eh ngayon hindi na gano'n eh. So how do you adapt? Example ito, meron na pala naimbentong ganitong produkto. Propose pa lang pala. Ang tawag diyan konsentidor, 'di ba, 'no? Imbes na i-correct mo yung behavior ng mga tao na hindi nang umalis yung tingin dun sa text, 'di ba? Oh, konsentihin mo, parang hindi na siya tumingala, parang tumingin dun sa traffic light, lagay mo sa sahig, okey? Yan yung adaptation. So, yan yung exciting, 'no, about technopreneurship because it gives you a sense of power. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, of fulfillment, right? When you're able to innovate and you're able to match a problem with a solution, then it gives you that sense of power. Okay. Now I'm going to walk you through a simple guide to problem solving and innovation. Okay, so that when you're trying to look for a solution to a problem and you want to, introduce a new product into the market to address it, then this could be what you could do. No, this is something that I developed myself. No, so it's a 6-point guide. No, so you go through this, and eventually you will it will help you. No, uh, create your solutions. Okay. So the first one is curiosity. Okay. Uh, we've been told for the longest time, no? Diba? Madalas natin 'to nababasa, necessity is the mother of invention. Totoo naman, right? No, maraming mga inventions was born out of necessity because there was a need to do something faster, easier, or whatever. So may naimbento na ano, yung Velcro, for example, ano? Yun, it was born out of the necessity to do away with yung cumbersome, mga botones o shoelaces, right? Okay? So, because there was a need, no? Para sa mga nagmamadali, okay? So, naimbento yung Velcro, no? Kaya tinatanong ko, sabi ko, sino kaya yung father, right? Okay? And my theory daw, ano? Is that si curiosity yung father. Okay? Why? Because curiosity raises questions, no? What, how, why, etc. And then the questions lead to discoveries. And then, so curiosity is what inspires and discovery reveals. Oh. Example, si Archimedes, no? He was curious about how he could prove that a king's crown was made entirely of gold. So, ka-eksperimento niya, na-discover niya yung principle of buoyancy. And that what led to the discovery of how ships will float. Okay? So, imagine kung hindi niya naisip yun, walang mga barko, di ba? Hindi naman siguro ba? May iba makakaisip din nun. Boyle was very curious about gases, inventing an air pump and then discovering the relationship between pressure and volume of a gas. And that gave us Boyle's law. Newton was curious about how a rainbow formed or how sunlight was reflected off a lake. And then siguro ito subukan nyo, no? Kunyari meron kang garapon na yung transparent, no? Okay? Subukan mo yung stick, no? Kahit barbecue stick lubog mong ganun. Magugulat ka, baliko siya o hindi siya straight, no? So he was curious about it, and eventually it led to his discovery of the laws of reflection and refraction. So it was a lot of discoveries in our history was made not just because of necessity, but more because of curiosity. Okay? O ito tingnan nyo tong next na video.
South Korea is a unique market. Tesco has been evolving itself, adjusting to the local market. It even changed the name itself from Tesco to Home Plus. And at last, it grew to rank number 2 in Korea. But Tesco had to overcome one obstacle, a fewer number of stores compared to the number 1 company, E-Mart. Mission: could we become number 1 without increasing the number of stores? We made an in-depth study into Koreans once more. Koreans are the second most hardworking people in the world. For them, grocery shopping once a week is a dreaded task. So we decided to approach these busy and tired people. Idea: let the store come to the people. We created virtual stores, hoping to blend into people's everyday lives. Our first try was subway stations. Although virtual, the displays were exactly the same as actual stores, from the display to the merchandise. Only one thing was different. You use smartphones to shop. Scan the QR code with your phone and the product automatically lands in your online cart. When the online purchase is done, it will be delivered to your door right after you get home. People can relax more after work and on weekends.
Okay, so yun yung sinasabi natin, no? It's the curiosity, right? Like you want to find out how do I address this busy people, no? How do I help these busy people? But it doesn't end with curiosity. The next thing that you need to have is what I call immersive observation. Okay? Ibig sabihin, yung talagang hindi ka lang mag-observe na, passive lang na observation, but really immersive, trying to absorb everything that you see and trying to ang tawag dito, parang etch it in your mind, no, deeply na para kahit later 'pag inimagine mo, makikita mo pa yung nakita mo, 'no? Puwede mo i-playback, parang video, 'di ba? Puwede mo i-playback yung nakita mo. That's what immersive observation is. So, unfortunately, marami sa atin ano, eh, very distracted, right? Okay? Or sometimes maybe it's just our nature, 'no, na minsan hindi yung half-hearted yung pagtingin natin sa paligid, right? So so that sometimes or we are selective in what we notice, right? So minsan, andiyan na sa harap natin, 'di natin nakikita, 'di ba? Okay, maraming ganyan, 'di ba? Yung, ah, hanap ng, boyfriend o girlfriend, 'no? Hindi nila alam, andiyan lang sa harap nila, hindi pa nila nakikita, 'di ba? Araw-araw nilang kasama. Hindi, pero ibang usapan 'yun, 'no? Pero 'to, tingnan niyo 'to,
The Door Study. This video shows a participant from a 1998 study by Daniel Simons and Daniel Levin. Watch what happens as the unsuspecting pedestrian provides directions. The young man on the left is one of the experimenters. He has approached the white-haired man and asked for directions. Watch closely as two people carrying a door pass between them, and the first experimenter is replaced by someone else. Like many of the people in this study, the pedestrian was entirely unaware that he was talking to a different person. Approximately 50% of the people approached in this study didn't notice when the person they were talking to was replaced by someone else.
Okay. So imagine 50%, 'no, ng tao hindi napansin, 'no, hindi nila nakita. But I guess I mean it can be human nature, 'no, right, 'no? Actually naalala ko nga, eh, dati 'pag nagto-talk ako, kinukuwento ko yung yung difference ng babae sa lalaki, 'no? And one of the things that I point out, sabi ko, "Alam mo, ah, women speak more than men." Okay. So sabi ko kung yung mga lalaki nakaka-average ng mga 20,000 words per day, yung mga babae siguro mga 40,000 words, 'no, per day, okey? Nung kinuwento ko yun sa asawa ko, ang sabi niya sa'kin, "Eh, kaya naman mas marami kaming sinasabi kaysa sa inyo kasi inuulit-ulit pa namin." Sabi niyang gano'n. Oh, nung sinabi niya sa'kin yun, ang sabi ko sa kanya, "Ano?" So, inulit niya. Pero but I realized na, oo nga 'no, minsan narinig ko naman, eh, 'no, kaya lang bakit ba gano'n yung reaction, 'no, kaagad ano, "Ano?" 'Di ba? Kahit narinig mo tatanungin mo pa, eh, 'no, "Ano?" At minsan yan yung problema ng mga teachers, eh, 'no? 'Di ba yung sa totoo lang mahirap magbigay lalo na 'pag face to face na ano, buti nga ito at least hindi ko kayo nakikita, hindi ko alam kung nakikinig kayo o hindi, ano. Pero imagine mo kunyari excited na excited ka, nagbibigay ka ng talk na ganyan, 'no, tapos yung mga participants mo ganyan, ganito yung mga itsura, 'di ba, parang so hindi anyway. So kailangan ng immersive observation. Number 3 is about inclusivity. You need to promote a culture where everyone is open to the possibility that ideas can originate from any level in the business. Okay? So when you're trying to find a solution to a problem, no, don't just rely on the managers. Okay? Kasi minsan, hindi sila frontliners, eh. Hindi sila yung babad dun sa customer facing, right? Or maaaring ang alam nila yung lumang panahon pa, no, nung sila pa yung nandun. Kunyari, sila yung they rose from the ranks, let's say, no? Nag-umpisa silang teller, eventually naging branch manager, tapos na-elevate na sa mas mataas na position. Hindi na nila alam kung ano yung reality on the ground, okay? So their perspective might be different, right? So and you need to entertain suggestions even from external stakeholders, no? Kunyari customers, suppliers, and other business partners, okay? So you need to strengthen an environment of communication and cooperation and collaboration. So you share ideas both offline and online. Okay. Now, Now, when you're a technopreneur, you need to have this. You need to have optimism. Okay? Kasi hindi lahat ng ideas mo magwo-work agad, right? Okay? So, 'pag gano'n kasi 'pag wala kang optimism, magi-give up ka na. Gustong-gusto ko 'tong kuwento tungkol kay Thomas A. Edison, one of our greatest inventors, okay? Before he was able to kasi ang ginawa niya, 'di ba, yung inimbento niya yung light bulb, eh. So, ang kailangan is yung filament na 'pag pinadama yung kuryente, iilaw yun, 'di ba? No, because of the heat that was generated, it will produce the light, no? So, hinahanap niya ano yung magandang filament na magtatagal kasi minsan 'pag nilagay niya 'pag on ng kuryente, putok kaagad, okay? So, you need to find the right kind of material that can sustain the current, produce the light, and stay for a long time. And ang dami niyang sinubok na mga material. Siguro buhok, sinubukan niya, papel, o gum. I don't know kung ano yung mga sinubukan niya. 700 times, no? So, 700 times, palpak, di ba? Puputok, sisira, okay? But he did not treat that as failures. Sabi niya, I have not failed 700 times. I have not failed once. Ito pa yung maganda. Sabi niya, I have succeeded in proving that those 700 ways will not work. When I have eliminated the ways that will not work, I will find the way that will work. So, such positive optimism. And when you're a technopreneur, you need to have that kind of character. And then the last one, the fifth one pala, may isa pa, is about progressive iteration. Okay? Because when you actually, ang isang tinuturo ko nga, is yung relationship ng creative thinking at critical thinking. Yung creative thinking is what gives you that, that creative spark. No? May na-imagine ka, naisip ka na, ito magandang solution to. Okay? But you need to temper that with a critical thinking mindset because your idea, no matter how good it is, no matter how creative and innovative it is, will not be perfect the first time around. Right? And you need to do a series of iteration in order to arrive at something that will really work and that could sell. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung unang naisip, kahit excited ka, tontuwa ka, pwedeng hindi pa yun yung solution. Right? So, that brings us to the last part of that 6-point guide, which is adamance. Adamance is an old English word. I don't know if it's still being used, but I like to use this word because it relates to the adjective, no? I think you're more familiar with the adjective adamant, di ba? When a person is adamant, he is persistent. He is persevering. He is patient, right? Okay? So, that's the kind of quality and character that you need to have as a technopreneur. You need to have adamance because even when you're faced with so many failures, okay, you just keep on going. They say that successful entrepreneurs have failed an average of 7 times in their lifetime. Okay, so, but I think ang key doon is that kaya sila nag-succeed because they did not quit. Imagine mo kung kunyari yung isa, 2 beses pa lang na nag-fail, umayaw na. O talaga hindi siya mag-succeed, right? Okay? So those that persevere, those that are persistent are the ones that succeed. And I'd show you this final video, okay, showing a product and how it was painstakingly developed by the inventor.
Excuse me.
すみません。
Can we take a picture with you?
一緒に写真を撮れますか？
Okay. All right, great. Let's go. Here you go. 3.
Excuse me.
すみません。
I don't know how to buy this ticket.
この切符の買い方がわかりません。
Yeah. Is there a karaoke near here?
この近くにカラオケありますか？
I want to stay at a room with a nice view.
眺めの良い部屋に泊まりたいです。
眺めのいい部屋ですね。
その服に合ってますね。
ありがとう。Take me to Los Angeles.
ロサンゼルスまで連れて行ってください。
Okay.
Okay. Now, it seems to be an awesome product. It seems to be a very creative and very innovative product. But what you're not seeing here is the road it takes to bring that product to where it is, no? And it was a series of progressive iterations, and listen to the inventor himself.
最初僕たちもその翻訳アプリの開発からスタートしました。で実際にいろんな人にこれ使ってもらって旅行者の皆さんですね。でフィードバックもらったんですけど、使えない。誰も使ってくれなかったんです。なぜですかって聞いたんですけど、やっぱりその最初の問題がその Wi-Fi でした。確かに海外旅行に行った時ってなかなかその Wi-Fi を探しても繋がらないと。繋がったとしてもなかなかそのスピードが出ない。実際によし使おうと思った時にあれ使えないみたいなことになる。それが起きてます。あとやっぱりそのスマートフォンってこういうふうにコミュニケーションをするようにできてないので、実際にその自分が話した時にスピーカーの音がこっちから出てきて相手側が何言ってるか聞こえないみたいなだったりとか、あと自分の世界にどうしてもスマートフォンに入っているので目線がこっちになってしまって相手側がその聞き耳を持ってくれないことが起きています。で僕がその一番驚いたのは最初の双方向で会話できるっていう機能をつけたんですけども、その機能を使えば使うほど逆に皆さんが使わなくなってしまう。なぜかなって思った時に、初対面の人にいきなり物をバッと差し出して相手が使い方も知らないですし、例えば長文だったり固有名詞の翻訳が難しいよっていうルールを伝えることも難しい。そうなるとやっぱりその複数回その無意味なやり取りが発生してしまってすごいストレスがたまるんですね。そうするとみんなが使わなくなることが起きてしまいます。いろいろその検証していく中で少しでも余計な時間がかかったりとか少しでもストレスがたまると、たとえその翻訳機能があったとしても使われなくなることが分かるようになりました。そこで僕たちはそのイリーをとにかくそのスピードをこだわりました。ポケットから出してすぐに使える。ハロー。
こんにちは。
ネット接続も必要ないですし、最速で 0.2 秒で翻訳ができます。一方向にそのこだわったことによって使用頻度も逆に上がりましたし、満足度も上がりました。やっぱり僕が一番好きなのはその相手の目を見ながらそのコミュニケーションができること。やっぱりコミュニケーションを円滑にするためのものなので、そこがすごい重要なポイントです。約2年間の開発されてようやくその実際に使えるっていう翻訳が作れました。日本ではすでにもうたくさんの方が使っていただいてまして、やっぱりそのいろんなフィードバックをいただくんですけども、やっぱり一番嬉しいのは、このイディがなかったらこの旅はできなかったって言ってもらうことです。例えばそのおすすめの料理は何ですか？胃薬が欲しいです。ちょっとしたことでも言えるだけで全然やっぱりその旅が楽しくなったって言っただけはとても嬉しいです。より多くの人たちが世界中でイディを使ってくれるようなそんな未来を作りたいと思っています。ぜひ皆さんにもこのイディですごい楽しい旅をエンジョイしてもらえるといいと思います。Have a nice trip with Illy。
希望您与伊犁旅途愉快。
Okay, so I think that's maybe the most important point to look at, that sense of adamas, that sense of perseverance. In fact, going back to Thomas Edison, he said that our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. And I tell my students, do not give up when life puts a stumbling block in front of you. Climb on top and get a better view of the horizon. Be persistent. But adamas is not the same as being obstinate. Okay? Yung sabi nga natin kanina, insanity yun. Pag hindi na nakukuha yung result, no? But you still do the same thing over and over again, no? Expecting that it will change, no? Sometimes failures are just God's way of pulling you back from where you're going because you're not facing the right direction. Alam niyo yung buhay, marami mang failures yan, no? Parang multiple choice exam lang yan, right? So, di ba, sa multiple choice exam, shade ka ng answer, pag gusto mong palitan, X mo, shade ka ng iba, gusto mo ulit magpalit, X mo, shade ka ng iba, gusto mo na magpalit, X mo, shade ka ng iba, okay? Pero kung na-X mo na lahat, siguro punta ka na doon sa next question, no? Kasi mukhang hindi mo talaga alam yung sagot, no? What was the important lesson here? The important lesson is this. Huwag mo nang balikan mga ex mo. Mag-move on ka na. As Zig Ziglar said, when obstacles arise, you change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for listening. I hope you listened a lot, and maybe we can have some Q&A. So I'll stop my sharing at this point. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sir Boogie, for that very insightful, and we learned a lot from your teachings. Kahit ngayon pa, introduction pa lang, pero parang in-depth na sila yung, kumbaga yung sa pagka ng technopreneurship. And uh, very thankful po na ikaw yung speaker namin ngayon. And ayun, Kuya Niel,
Ayun,
I
buti
believe
buti
meron siyang question
correct
sa
mo yung
inyo, sir.
spelling.
Yes. So
Kanina
sir, ako na po mauna, no?
technepreneurship yan, eh.
Ay! Yes sir, tama na po yung spelling. Sorry po.
Oo, akala niyo hindi ko napansin, ha?
So, while we were waiting for the others po to think of their question, meron na pong dalawang question na na-formulate based on what we were talking about na rin earlier. So, one of the things that intrigued me is one of the, ano nga po, tips that you should be, or you just keep being creative. Kagaya po ng mga products na pinakita niyo sa simula, down from the, yung example po yun sa discount sa mga shoe shop, pati yung sa, um, yung pinopost po na way para to prevent people from texting while walking from getting into accidents sa street. So one of my questions is, and I'm pretty sure this will be relatable to the others as well, is there any tips that you can share to overcome these creative blocks, or at least to find uniqueness in already a pool full of ideas? So for example po, in our class now, taking 10th rep, yung sa isa po namin project, right, sir, you commented that one of our project ideas is there's already a lot of those things. So, yun po yung question ko, sir. How do we, like, encounter or get over that obstacle of having a lot of competition with the same ideas as yours?
Okay. The thing to look at is look at the problem from a different angle. In other words, a lot of people may be already addressing that problem, but they're approaching it from the same point of view. So what you need to do is to try to change your perspective and look at it from a different angle, because there might be something, kagaya sabi natin kanina, di ba, na makikita mo na hindi nila nakikita. And that's where you attack it from that side. Okay? So you try to always look for something else that has not been touched by others. Okay? So don't try to compete on something that's already being done by everybody else, no? Try to see whether there's something that you can introduce that will somehow tweak the solution itself. Okay? Because it's now offering it coming from a different perspective. And that's what innovation is all about. And that's what creating a competitive advantage is all about, right? Okay? By trying to approach it with a fresh mind, with a fresh perspective, and looking at it from a different angle. And I think the other thing that I would want to emphasize is that you also need to build a certain level of confidence in yourself, no? Minsan yan yung isang problema sa mga estudyante, for example, no? 'Di ba minsan kunyari sa klase, 'di ba, 'pag nagtanong yung teacher, minsan kahit alam mo naman yung sagot, pero ayaw niyo magtaas ng kamay, 'di ba? Parang nahihiya ka, 'di ba? Okey. Tapos 'pag sinabi ng teacher yung sagot, ano yung reaction? "Sabi ko na nga, eh," 'no? Parang kumbaga alam mo naman pala, eh, 'di ba? Pero you were afraid to ano, and so actually, when I was still active in teaching sa APC, yung mga freshmen ko, first year pa lang, yung kaagad yung tinuturo ko, sinasabi sa kanila, "You know what is my definition of confidence?" Okay? Confidence is not about being perfect. Kasi minsan gano'n yung takot niyo, eh, 'di ba, na ayaw mong Anong may tawag doon eh, kasi ano eh, the power of nakalimutan ko yung word eh. Consensus, yung power of consensus. Na parang gusto mo yung iniisip mo is pareho na nung mga ginagawa din ng iba, di ba? So, kasi natatakot kang magkamali, natatakot kang mag-stand out, right? Okay. So, gano'n. And I tell them, confidence is not about being perfect. Confidence is about not being afraid to make mistakes. Di ba? So, kaya minsan pagdating ng third year, napapansin ko yung mga estudyante ko, mas confident na, no? Pag nagtanong ako, "Sir!" Madalas mali pa rin yung sagot, ano? Pero at least, 'di ba, yung mas confident na sila, 'di ba, no, na hindi sila natatakot na 'pag sinabi mong mali yung sagot, "Okay sir." Gano'n lang, 'di ba? So, wala namang masama kung nagkamali ka. And so, same thing, no, try to approach it from a fresh perspective, but don't be afraid to make mistakes, right? Okay? Even if your idea does not work, so what? Then try again, right? Sabi nga natin kanina, 'di ba? Just be optimistic and be adamant. Yun.
Thank you, sir, for the answer. GM, may tanong ka ba? Kasi mayroon pang isang tanong na siguro mahahabol as a follow-up question dun sa sagot ni sir.
Actually, medyo similar din yung question ko, but I think eto po kasi mostly po kasi at amin, like sa tech, parang laging ano nila is, parang since ang daming products ngayon na ano sa technology, like kunwari sa ano pala, sa mga messaging apps ang dami na. So ano po sir, ano po sa tingin niyo sir yung parang dapat po gawin ng isang nagsa-startup po sa pag-dabble into technopreneurship? Like ano po yung parang need po nila na matutunan na skill para maging ano po, litaw po sila or mag-stand out sila sa crowd?
Okay. The very first thing that the technopreneurship has to learn, the quality is empathy. Okay? Kasi ang nangyayari minsan, nauuna yung technology. Okay? Dati nga natatawa ako kasi pagka nag-discuss kami ng kunyari yung project ideas, may mga technology na naisip yung mga estudyante, no? "Sir, gagawa kami ng app na ganito, ganyan, ganyan nagagawa." O 'pag tinanong ko, "Oh, ano yung sino-solve niyan?" Parang parang gusto nila sabihin, "Sir, kailangan ba yun?" Parang gano'n. Nauuna siyempre yung problema, 'di ba? Alam niyo, actually, even in yung sa Davidic growth paradigm, kasi marami din ako nakakausap ng mga business owners, okay? Yung sasabi nila, "Sir Boogie, na-overwhelm kami kasi ang dami namin nababasa ng mga kung ano-anong mga acronyms, AI, ML, RPA, IoT, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan." Sabi ko, "Alam niyo ang nangyayari sa inyo, technology overwhelm, eh, 'no? Kaya kayo napaparalyze kasi nauuna yung technology tapos na-overwhelm na kayo. But, you just have to think of it this way. The best technology for your business is simply the technology that you need." O ano ibig sabihin nun? Alamin mo muna ano yung kailangan mo. Let's find out what you need, and then we will look for the right technology to match it. Okay? There might be a multitude of technology out there, but you don't need all of them. You just need just one. And that one is what? Sorry, bigla ako na. And that one is simply that technology that addresses your need. So, as a technopreneur, you need to empathize with the market that you're trying to help. Okay? Put yourself in their shoes. Try to imagine, ano bang nararanasang hirap nitong mga, kunyari, gusto mo tulungan yung mga commuters sa Metro Manila. Try to imagine how would it be if I'm a commuter myself. Better kung you experience the same thing yourself, right? Okay? Because by putting yourself in their shoes and getting their perspective, then you'll be able to empathize with their problem, and that's when you can come up with a very powerful solution because you have a good perspective of what the real problem, the real expectations are. So yun ang dapat na maging focus. Okay?
And sir, thank you for that brilliant answer, sir. So, Kuya Neil, yung
Hindi
follow-up
yung nauna yung technology, sinanapan mo ang problema.
nauna po yun.
Hanapan mo ng
Papanoorin
problema.
niya lang po ako, sir, na hindi po ako isa sa mga ganun dati. So, guys, don't feel free to ask your questions. You may raise your hand or send them in the chat box and we will read those questions for you. So, habang hinintay ulit namin yun, again, try ko magpahabol, sir, ng question, no? So,
Sure.
you already mentioned earlier yung, one of the things is yung sa fear nga po nila of failing. And then they just push through that with optimism. So, or being optimistic. So yung second question ko po sana, sir, is how may those people who fear of thrive, yung sa thrive nyo po na component is how do they tackle the fear of transcending, of innovating their business because of there's of change? Or since in tackling the fear niya, sir, gawin lang na accept failure is instead how may they mitigate the effects of the risks of their changes po when it comes to innovating their businesses or projects.
Okay. Well, I think you just need to they just need to realize that sa totoo lang wala naman sigurong hindi pa nag-fail di ba? So just the fact that you've already failed, no, means that it's something that you can overcome, right? Because you've been there, no? You felt how failure feels, okay? But you've somehow survived, right? Okay, so kaya lang yun nga, minsan parang takot na tayo na mangyari pa ulit yung failure, right? Okay. But it's a matter of perspective, okay? If we think that failure is the end, then that's it, no? Titigil talaga tayo. But if we start thinking na there is really no failure, but it's just a temporary lesson, right? Parang kumbaga, it's either I succeed or I learn, no? Dapat gano'n yung attitude natin, no? Puwedeng nagawa ko o kung hindi ko man nagawa, may natutunan ako. But I don't look at it as failure, right? And I think that's, of course, it's easier said than done, no? But pero ako kasi when I deal with my clients, what I do is I approach it from a motivational and inspirational point of view. So in other words, I give seminars to the employees, no. I try to build up their excitement, okay? And I'm talking from the point of view of digital transformation. No? When I do a digital transformation for a business, ang isang number one hurdle kasi ng mga companies is yung resistance to change ng mga empleyado. Pero actually, yung resistance to change naman is either tinatamad lang sila or natatakot sila. Okay? But yun nga, what I do is I try to inspire them and try to motivate them, no? And I try to let them understand, and of course I educate the management also na don't punish failures, no? Because failures will always happen, no? What's important is that you create a culture where kung nag-fail, hanapin ano, saan ba tayo nagkamali, and then pick up the pieces and use that learning to move forward, no? Dapat gano'n yung attitude, no? And when they start seeing it that way, then yun doon na nag-uumpisa yung growth. So I think same thing yun sa entrepreneur, ano? It's just a matter of conditioning your mind, no? To look at those that fall short of success as not really failures but a learning process, no? Parang parang sabihin mo, hindi ko man naabot ito pero may natutunan ako na puwedeng baka 'pag binago ko yun next time maabot ko na rin yun, 'di ba? Parang gano'n.
Thank you, sir, for the answer. And I will definitely keep that in mind po sa project po namin for this term, no? Kasi we're needed. Kasi we're tackling something, kagaya ng sabi niyo, sir, is unique. So we'll see if what features we come up with is actually effective for our goal. And if we do fail, we'll just keep pushing on and keep looking at the different angles that we may approach the problem. So ito sir, meron na po nagtanong sa
Anyway,
chat natin.
dagdag ko lang, Neil. Don't stop asking questions. Yun yung importante. Di ba? Because yung failure happens only when you stop, right? Okay? But if you keep on asking questions, then that's not failure, no? So don't stop asking questions.
We'll keep that in mind, sir, definitely. So, yun guys keep asking questions daw. Yung iba dyan. So, sir, may nagtanong na po sa chat box. A question from Sir Edwin Gumba. Design thinking is challenging and I often get mind blocks in thinking of a solution sa ibang projects ko. How does one foster creative thinking to produce a product that's new to the people?
Okay. Parang Miss Universe. Can you please repeat the question?
Design thinking is challenging and I often forget or I often get
Forget
mind
blocks.
blocks in thinking of a solution sa ibang projects niya daw po. So how does one foster creative thinking to produce a product that is new to the people?
Okay. Hindi naman remember the quality of being new is not the most important, okay? No? It could be something that is an adaptation of an existing solution. It could be something that is a modification from an existing solution. What is important is that you introduce a new factor that elevates the solution to the problem to a new level. Okay? So kumbaga, ito dati, ito lang yung nasosolve niya. Nung may dinagdag ako, may nasolve pa siyang iba. Parang ganun. And that's how you should. Well, it's easier said than done. I would admit that, no. And don't mind the mental blocks, no, because it happens to everyone, no. Kahit yung mga authors nga, di ba, yung meron tinatawag na writer's block, di ba? Okay. But pag ganun, no, just stop for a while, relax, okay, and then do some mind exercises, okay, meditation. Minsan kasi 'pag pagod naman talaga na yung utak natin, talagang kahit pigain mo 'yan, wala nang lalabas diyan, 'di ba? So, don't be pressured by it, no? Just set it aside for a moment and then come back to it at a later time, no? Minsan magugulat ka, kung gaano ka-elastic yung utak din natin, ano, na minsan bigla na lang meron na. And, okay, sometimes ideas come at the most unexpected time, no? Okay? Kaya importante that you carry along with you something that you can write on, kahit notebook lang 'yan o pen. Ako pagka natutulog ako, meron akong notebook tsaka pen dati. Ngayon kahit cellphone na lang, no? Because in the past, it would happen to me. Sometimes I would wake up in the middle of the night, 2:30, no? Yung kunyari, meron akong iniisip na problema, no, tapos wala talaga, pigang-piga na yung utak ko. So sabi ko, sige, tulugan ko na lang nga ito. And then I'd be surprised. In the middle of the night, I'd wake up 2:30 and a solution would pop in my head. Okay? Now, pag wala kang susulatan, may stress ka lang. Pero pag naisulat mo yon, tabi mo, tapos tulog ka na lang ulit. Di ba? Pag-isip mo sa umaga, doon pa din naman yun eh. Right? Okay? But that's how I do it. I don't force the issue, no? But trust in the process and eventually these things will come, no? I hope I answered yung question ni Edwin.
Thank you, sir, the answer. Actually, sir, for your answer, I totally relate on how I handle the creative box then as well. So as a student of game dev, sometimes we try to do our best to create something new and unique for a game. So actually, for that one, sa sinabi ni sir na writing, dati hindi ko rin siya ginagawa. But if I may share, right now, it has been a habit na rin of mine to bring small index cards and have a pen ready.
Oo nga,
Kasi
lagi napapansin ko sa klase may dala ka eh.
yes sir, meron po. So ayun yung usually ginagawa ko kasi sometimes um my mind goes elsewhere. Halimbawa kumakain, gano'n. And then yun nga, ideas pop up. So it's either
Yeah.
ideas for the game or the solution to our current thesis actually. So may times din na how do I optimize the system of our thesis? And I keep trying to think of a way doon sa what things I already know on how to optimize it. But hindi siya gumagana. And then just suddenly, while in class last week, bigla siya lumabas sa utak ko. And ginawa ko na lang is ni-write down ko siya sa cellphone. And then when I went back home and tried to do that code structure, gumana siya. So I definitely recommend you guys to follow such a mindset no when it comes to dealing with these kinds of things. So thank you for sharing that, sir. Any other questions, guys? Dali. This is your chance.
Habol niya na guys, baka mamaya di kayo makatulog niyan.
Oo. This is
May
your
isa pa
chance.
may isa pang tip pala ako sa inyo, ha? Okay. Kasi usually ang isang tinuturo about, yung creative thinking is yung sinasabi nilang thinking out of the box, okay? Pero minsan yung idea of thinking out of the box, minsan it's medyo overhype, okay? Because sometimes it can actually also be a deterrent to creative thinking. Okay, I'll give you an example lang. Kunyari binigay sa'yo yung problem, sabi sa'yo, you're driving, you are in a car. Kunyari nasa kotse kayo, di ba? Kunyari, tumatakbo kayo. Tapos ang tinanong, what's the fastest way to go to Baguio, for example? Okay. So, ang tendency is mag-iisip ka na hanapin niyo kung ano yung pinakamabilis na ruta. Bakit niyo naisip 'yon? Kasi nagkaroon ka kaagad ng natural restriction about the car, right? Kasi nasa lugar ng car. And that is your box, okay? No? Ibig sabihin, okay, na kahit nagiging creative ka, nag-iisip ka ng thinking out of the box, but the mere fact that you started the idea na dahil nasa kotse kayo, okay, parang akala mo constraint 'yun, no? And that becomes your box, okay? But in reality, ang pinakamadali palang solusyon is drive to the airport and ride the plane, right? Okay? You don't have to bring the car. Okay. So sometimes it's not just about thinking out of the box. Sometimes it's also about thinking that there is no box at all. So dapat gano'n, minsan gano'n. Titingnan niyo muna lahat yung mga anong tawag dito, yung mga yung mga conditions, no? Yung mga the whole premise of the problem, and but don't let those be your constraints or your restrictions, ano. Minsan hindi naman, di ba? Pero iniisip natin na kailangan ma-solve ko 'to na nasa kotse ako. Eh, hindi, ang pinakamadali pala punta ka sa airport, sakay eroplano. Anyway. Meron pa?
Gaya sir ng sabi niyo po kanina, no? Sometimes yung answers po talaga is nasa harap niyo na talaga. So, yun guys. Complexity isn't always the answer. For 4 years na, or actually 6 years in EC, 4 years ng college, ayun, natutunan ko yun the hard way. So, always go for complexity.
So parang yung nakapag-ano talaga dun yung sabi ni sir na yung parang nasa kotse ka, gano'n. Yung box mo yung kotse tapos 'di ba? So parang minsan wala naman talagang hurdle but para sa'yo meron. So ayun, napaka eye-opening nung example na yun. Ayun. So guys, kung may additional questions kayo, mag-chat na kayo. Baka pagka dumating na yung time, ayun, 'di na matanong.
This is your chance, guys, to clarify anything or get tips talaga, no? So yung iba dito is siguro iba dito freshmen, the others are third year na magti-thesis. So now is the time, guys. Now is the time to ask away kung ano yung mga
Tsaka
pwede yung makatulong sa mga future projects ninyo.
Tsaka Kuya Neil, 'di ba? Like sa ibang ano 'to, may bayad 'tong gumagantong session. So napakaswerte natin dito sa
Bakit wala bang bayad 'to? Hindi.
Ah,
Joke lang.
Yan.
Ayun. Tama si JM. Yung ibang mga gantong session is may entrance fee for the attendees. But we, as your organizers sa JPC SAPC, have come up with this event to bring to you for free. Yun. So, sure kayo guys, wala talaga? Nalalabuan ako dun, ha?
Ano yan
Baka
Final na ba
nahiya
yan?
kayo. Hindi naman nangangagat si Sir Boogie, guys. Napakabait ni Sir Boogie.
So ako napapansin nyo guys, 'pag sumagot si sir like buong-buo yung walang natitira eh. Kumbaga malinaw na malinaw yung nagiging answer. So ayun guys, so I hope na makapagtanong kayo kasi minsan lang yung gantong opportunity and better grab it na. Sige kayo na lang tanungin namin parang wala eh.
Yan nga, tama sir. Tanungin nyo nga sila sir kung ano yung natutunan nila dito sa event natin. Ayan. Ay, ito sir, magandang tanong, no?
Mm.
Kasi yun sir, yun nasa profile niyo. Actually, pag pinuntahan niyo yung LinkedIn profile ni sir, sobrang makulay. Ang ganda ng listahan. Parang maganda siya gawing golden in the near future. So, ang tanong sir ni Danziel is, what was your first job before becoming a CEO?
Okay. Actually, o ganito yan. Kwento ko sa inyo, ha. Na-discover ko na gusto ko maging entrepreneur. My first job was as a programmer in a computer company. Yung nagbebenta sila ng mga Apple computers dito sa Pilipinas. Okay. But this was during the 80s, Ano yan, pagkatapos ko ng college ito eh, no? So I was working for this company. And then crisis yung panahon na yun eh. That was the time that Ninoy Aquino was shot. No. I went out of college mga 82, no, 82, 83 kasi nag-masters pa ako eh. I tried to pursue a master's in mathematics although hindi ko naman natapos, no. So my first job was hindi, ang first job ko pala was with National Science Technology Authority, yung DOST ngayon. Ito pala ang programming job, second job ko na to. Okay, anyway. So yung so when we were there, so crisis yung panahon na yon. There were 8 of us in that group, in that department. We were writing programs for the Apple computer for the clients of the company. Okay? Ang problema, napakahirap namin kasi wala kami sariling gamit. Would you imagine development ka, wala kang gamit. No? Ang ginagamit namin were the same computers na binebenta ng kumpanya. Okay? So minsan nga, may sisilip na sales sabi sa amin, "Oh, tapos na ba yan?" Sabi niya, "De-deliver na yung printer mamaya eh." So pag deliver yung printer, wala kaming magagamit. Puro sulat-sulat lang kami. So, tapos may dumating na isang araw, sabi nung boss namin, sabi ni boss, magre-retrench daw tayo eh. Sabi niya, "Pasensya na kasi itong grupo daw na 'to hindi productive." So gusto ko magalit, sabi ko, "Hindi productive eh, paano kami magiging productive, wala kaming gamit." 'No? Tapos sabi dun sa 8 empleyado, 6 yung tatanggalin. 2 lang kami nung isa pang empleyado na matitira kasi kami na lang yung may project. We were doing a project for BPI at the time. Eh, siyempre batang-bata pa ako no'n, ano. So, very idealistic. Sabi ko, "Hindi, hindi nila puwedeng gawin 'yan." Sabi niya, "Kung tatanggalin nila kayo, tanggalin tayong lahat." Oh, yun nga, tinanggal kaming lahat, 'no. So, tapos sabi ko, meron akong 3 kasama do'n, sabi ko, "Tayo na lang tayong sariling negosyo." So, isip-isip kami, nakaisip na kami pangalan, logo. Within 2 months nagkahanap ng trabaho yung lahat, yung iba. Ako na lang yung naiwan. But that started me on that sabi I want to do this, 'no. Ang una ko ngang computer was an Apple, yung hindi pa original na Apple, eh. Okey. Kasi nga wala akong trabaho, 'no. Tapos ang 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 data storage ko cassette tape. ang monitor ko black and white na TV. One day, may nabasa ako sa dyaryo, sabi, wanted programmer, no? It was a company in tira ako sa Novaliches, eh. Punta ako doon sa punta ako doon sa imagine 20s lang ako noon, So, pagdating doon sa manager, sabi ko, "Sir, I did not come here to apply for the job. I came here to offer you a solution." So, yung manager, nakarigo kong ganyan, biglang tumingin sa akin, sabi niya, "Sira ulo 'tong batang 'to, So, sabi ko, "Sir, imagine mo, 'pag mag-hire ka ng programmer, may papagawa ka, pagkatapos nun, susweldohan mo pa rin siya, kung wala kang ipapagawa. Ako, I will contract your requirement, mas mahal nga lang, pero sigurado ka, 'di ba, na it's worth it." So, sinubukan niya, and I wrote yung computer ko na yun, I wrote my first payroll program. Payroll, imagine mo na alam niyo kung ilang memory ng computer ko? 48 kilobytes, okay? Bumili ako ng expansion card, naging 64 kilobytes, ha? Kasi puro text lang naman nun, wala namang graphics, so hindi siya intensive sa memory, but I was able to write. So, natuwa yung group of companies pala sila, pinakilala ko sa mga kapatid. Ang haba ng sagot ko, no? Pero yun yung una kong yung una kong trabaho. Later on, I started assembling computers. Bumibili akong pyesa sa Binondo, bubuo ako, ibebenta ko. Okay, nung umpisa hobby lang, after a while, it became a business for me. I was supplying laboratories of schools. I was supplying Ateneo, Adamson, ano ba ibang school na sometimes may 150 computers, tatlong at Trinity College. Actually, kaya ako naging teacher. Parang nakwento ko 'to sa isang klase ko, nagde-deliver lang akong computer. Tapos naalok ako, sabi, "Sir, gusto mo magturo?" Siguro kasi nakita niya yung resume ko, sabi niya, UP, BS Math. Sabi niya, "Meron kaming kailangan naming math teacher, eh." So, aside from being an entrepreneur, naging teacher ako. Yun yung una kong trabaho. Uy, ang dami ng tanong.
Yes po, sir. Bale, yung second question po natin galing kay Sir John Gabriel Salamera. Ang tanong niya po is, how will you know that an idea just won't work at all? How do you know when to stop and just focus on a new idea? Ayun po yung question niya.
Okay. Well, there are exercises, no? Medyo mas mahirap ngayon. Kasi yung pag-structure ng solution, hindi naman yun basta lang na tinatsambahan mo, right? Okay? So, dapat meron ka rin somehow na structure. So, if you're working within the structure, what your failures are mostly just trying out different iterations of that solution that you formulated. Para yung kay Thomas Edison, di ba? No, na-solve na niya yung idea, di ba? Ang idea para mapalight niya yung bulb is to run the electricity through a filament. Ang tanong na lang is, anong filament? Anong klaseng material? And that was what he was experimenting on. And so many materials, imagine 700, some are even saying it runs to the thousands, right? Okay? So, ang dami, But because he knew that the basic idea is solid, is sound, it was finding that material that was the solution, right? So hindi siya tumitigil kasi alam niya na eventually makakahanap siya ng material because he knew that the basic solution is correct, is sound. Running electricity through a filament will produce the light. Okay? So ganun dapat, no? Pero kung kunyari, yung sa pag-experiment mo, it showed that your basic idea is wrong, then that's when you stop. Because yung mismong idea that you're trying to prove has already been disproven, right? Okay? Hindi kagaya nung kaso ni Edison, right? Okay? Nag-work naman umiilaw sandali, puputok, right? So alam niya na tama, he is onto something. Ang kulang lang yung material, no? Pero kung kunyari, yung inisip mong solution, no? Lumabas na hindi mag-work talaga yung the basic idea itself, then that's when you stop.
And sir, thank you for that answer po. Ang next question po natin galing kay Sir Francis Dominic Fajardo. So, ang ano niya po is, medyo unrelated daw po. How was your experience with older computers tulad ng Apple? And may tinago po ba kayong lumang tech? Since medyo interesado daw po kasi siya sa early days of computing or retro tech. And ang second question niya po is, anong language daw po gamit niyo, sir, noon sa pagpa-program assembly? Ayun
Okay.
po, sir.
Okay. Yung computer ko was an Apple II compatible. In other words, fake na Apple siya, no? Pero hindi ko nasubukan yung Apple I. Kasi yung Apple I, I think, did not really prosper in the market. It was the Apple II that really went all out. Now, kaya lang, kasi nga, it was made from ordinary components. Napakadaling gayahin. And in fact, no, China and Taiwan started producing yun nga, yung mga Apple na fakes. Okay? Pero yun yung gamit ko. My first programming language was Apple Basic. Okay? It was where I wrote my first payroll program. But I did double in assembly. No? Kasi, that's how I can look at what is in the memory of the computer, and then I could change the value. And in fact, ang isang ginawa ko nung panahon na yon, alam niyo yung game na Pac-Man? Okay? Yung Pac-Man, 'di ba, parang 4 lang yung lives, eh, tapos after that mamamatay na. Ang ginawa ko was that I used assembly to look at what is inside the program, tapos nahanap ko kung saan ini-store yung lives. Tapos ang ginagawa ko bago ako mag-start ng game, I would change the value of that and change it to the highest value that so I had 255 lives. Pag nilalaro ko yung Pac-Man, hindi ako matapos-tapos. Yeah, but it was assembly and Apple Basic at the time. Eventually, I learned database, DBase, FoxBase, FoxPro, Clipper, C++. In fact, my thesis in my graduate program, I'm Master of Science in Computer Science from Ateneo. My thesis was written in C and Clipper. Okay, yung language na ginamit.
Oh, thank you for that answer, sir. Grabe, ang dami pala talaga ng experience ni sir when it comes to programming, no? Like Apple Basic and then yun nga sa C pa. So, ayun sir, sabi po ni Francis Dominic Farder, ganun din gawain ko po sir nung una ako nahilig sa programming. So, ayan. Ini-edit niya daw po yung files sa games para madaya niya. Ayun sir, may next question po tayo from Kelvin Josler Nagales. Ang tanong niya po is, can discipline, time management, and a positive mindset will help you to be successful, especially in programming?
Okay, short answer lang. Yes, and not just in programming. These are key life hacks. Okay, discipline, time management, positive mindset. No, it will help you succeed not just in programming but in life in general. So importante yan. So hindi ko na elaborate, no? I think that says it all already. Baka
Kung
magkwento
meron
pa
po
ako
Thank you very
ng
much.
buhay ko
May-
tungkol sa
kung may dadagdag lang din ako doon kay Kelvin, be consistent. Yun talaga. Kasi, kagaya ng sabi ni Sir, yun niya sa Bound to Fail, actually yun, ilang beses na rin nangyari yan sa amin sa programming. Kasi yun talaga yung learning process niya. So, you create a system, pero in the future, you can create a better one. You know? Looking back sa mga codes ko or mga scripts ko dati, yun lang masasabi ko. Hindi ako natutuwa sa mga pinagko-code ko dati. So, I think, Sir, that's... Ay, sorry. Sige, sir.
one last thing, okay. Yung discipline kasi, I think you're talking about focus, ano? And focus is important, okay? For some time, nauso kasi yung yung multitasking. Don't believe in that. Multitasking does not work, okay? Because our mind is wired to be most productive by focusing at one task at a time. Kasi every time that na-divert yung attention mo, magbi-build up pa siya ng context kasi nun eh. Okay? And that takes time. So, ang laki ng nauubos na oras nun just by moving from one to the other. Kunyari may ginagawa ka, tapos lumipat ka. Hindi kagad ka magiging productive dun sa task na yun kasi magsi-shift yung utak mo and magbi-build pa siya ng context, okay? That's how they explain it, ano? At least that's what I read, ano? And so the best is to do one task at a time, very focused, no? Kunyari, 30 minutes, yun lang. And then after that, rest, and then do something else, okay? Focus time. That's the kind of discipline that you should develop.
Thank you, sir, for sharing those thoughts. And yan, Kelvin, kaya mo yan. Focus lang. So, I think, sir, that's all the questions na rin
Yes,
ng
okay.
audience natin. So,
Thank you.
the next segment is now we will award Sir Boogie their certificate of appreciation for being our guest speaker for this event. So, in grateful acknowledgement and sincere appreciation for imparting their valuable knowledge to us as the guest speaker in Introduction to Technopreneurship, JPCS APC shares this certificate of appreciation to Sir Ernesto C. Boydon. So, sir, picture lang po tayo if okay lang po sa inyo.
Thank you. Yes.
So, ready na po?
Yes.
3, 2, 1, smile. Baka may ibang gusto dyan sumama, pwede rin kayo mag-open cam for another round. Kung okay lang guys,
Yes,
mag-open
guys.
cam kayo.
Yeah, mag-open
Pinapabalik.
cam na kayo para once in a lifetime opportunity lang din to na makamalay nyo, 'di ba? Sa sunod face to face na din tayo. So maganda na ayun, makasama din kayo sa photo op natin.
Neil, ba't parang ang bilis mo umuwi?
Ba't ang bilis ko umuwi? Ewan ko, may magandang traffic solution sa Technopreneurship sa EDSA today. Hindi ko alam. Si Denzel lang magbubukas. Okay lang yan guys, huwag kayong mahiya na magbukas ng camera. Unless, ayun, hindi man namin kayo force. So,
Pero parang
5.
ganun na nga, guys.
Hi Francis! Ang tagal na namin ikaw
Ayan,
di
hello, friend.
nakikita.
Ayan. Hello kay Kuya Aldwin and nasa APC din
APC
naman.
pa.
Ayun,
Cafeteria
no?
pa.
Ayan,
marami
shout out din
bukas
kay
ng
Dar. Ayan, nag-open na din. Ayan guys, huwag kayong mahiya. Mag-join na sa mag-open ng inyong cameras. Ayan.
I think ito na lahat. Wala natin dadagdag. So mukhang wala na pong dadagdag, sir. So again, prepare po tayo. Ready na po ba? 3, 2, 1, smile. Okay naman, Waki. Kahit anong pose, kayo na bahala. Or kung may trip dyan, lalo kay Aldwin, jump shot nga. Sige. Joke lang. Sige. 1, 2, 3, smile. Ayun. Thank you guys for attending our event, especially kay Sir Boogie Boydon for being
Thank
our
you.
speaker for this event. I hope you guys learned a lot na magagamit nyo sa inyong mga future endeavors as a college student sa APC, or kung may mga senior high school students man dito, you're still a long road ahead, pero yun, I hope this webinar will get you on track pagdating sa mga projects ninyo. So, para dun sa mga attendees natin, no, wag muna kayong aalis kahit sinabi ko tapos na. Please answer our evaluation form as this would help us to improve all of our events in the future. Lalo na doon sa mga students dito that was probably required by their professors to attend our event, as usually if ayun yung nangyayari, your professors will then ask for the attendance of the webinar from us para hindi kayo i-mark as absent for that class day. And additionally, for our evaluation form, dito rin namin makukuha ang pangalan ng 3 lucky winners ng aming paraffle after this event. So yun, kung gusto niyo manalo ng aming prizes, ano kayo yung prize, no? JM, may idea ba sa prize? Ako may idea ako
Yun
sa
nga
prize.
eh. Ako,
So,
actually surprise din sa akin yung price eh. So, ayun.
so sa
Hopefully,
mga gusto ma-entice dyan, ang ating prize ay 100 pesos Grab food voucher. Ayan, di ba? Sarap kumain.
wow.
So, ayun, thank you guys for attending our event. Again, please answer our evaluation form and after that, you may leave the call na rin. Thank you guys.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you po.
Ingat po. Francis, dito ka lang muna, dali, daldalan tayo.
Ay, hello.
Ayun guys baka